It's fascinating but hardly surprising how India batter and vice-captain Smriti Mandhana's career has gone from her being the unofficial brand ambassador of Sangli's Samba Bale to becoming an official friend of Rado, the Swiss watchmaker, and then to having a Barbie created in her likeness alongside tennis legend Serena Williams earlier this year, and now to finding herself on Time magazine's 100 most influential people in sports of the year 2026 list alongside basketball icon LeBron James and football immortal Lionel Messi. Now that is some career graph. And to me, it feels like one of those fun social media follower engagement memes/graphics where you're asked to pick a table full of sporting royalty. In recent times, Smriti has invariably kept finding herself at that very table. And this comes in the middle of what has been a massive 18 to 24 months for Smriti Mandhana, the cricketer. She was the ICC Women's ODI Cricketer of the Year 2024, BBC Sportswoman of the Year 2025, India's highest run getter at the ICC Women's ODI World Cup 2025, and of course the title-winning captain at WPL 2024 and 2026. And she's also got the most number of international hundreds by an Indian woman. And still, after covering her for years, what stands out to me the most is her humanity. She makes space for others to shine. She notices people. She's the kind of person who would rather have you walk alongside her than behind her, both metaphorically and literally. Besides, she has also been vocal about girls in sport, thoughtful about how women athletes are spoken to and about in the media, and deeply respected inside the Indian dressing room. And having covered press conferences across women's cricket over the last decade, from the top 10 to 12 nations to associate teams, alongside being involved in broadcast and production, I also appreciate this in Smriti Mandhana. When results are not going the Indian batting lineup's way, Smriti rarely throws younger, less experienced teammates under the bus. Instead, she absorbs the pressure, shares the responsibility, and protects the dressing room publicly. And when it comes to her most recent on-field performance, her 68 at Edgbaston against Pakistan during India's T20 World Cup opener on Sunday was yet another reminder that Smriti Mandhana is still scoring the important runs, both individually and as one half of the iconic #HerMandhana phenomenon, her partnership with Captain Harmanpreet Kaur that has helped redefine what fandom in women's cricket can look like. And then there's also been several pieces of off-field but publicly documented evidence in recent months. Remember, not so long ago, Jemima Rodrigues, Smriti's good friend and teammate, cancelled a WBBL stint in Australia to be with her during a difficult period. Well, people do not do that just because you score hundreds of runs and win titles. They do that because of who you are. And it is because Smriti Mandhana is one of those people you would walk on broken glass for. Perhaps that is why she feels so important to this era of Indian women's cricket, not just as an individual, but as part of a remarkable generation. Harmanpreet Kaur, Jemima Rodrigues, Deepti Sharma, Smriti, Shefali, and now the much younger players coming through as well. Smriti and Harman in particular occupy an interesting space, flying the flag high for millennials in a dressing room that is increasingly becoming Gen Z dominant. That to me is why this feels like such an important chapter, not just in Indian cricket, but in women's sport globally, especially as we move towards the debut of women's cricket at the LA 2028 Olympic Games, where India are expected to compete and compete well. So honestly, do not be surprised if Smriti and some of her Indian teammates soon find themselves on American talk shows, sitting across from Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, explaining the inside-out cover drive or the slog sweep to an audience that has no idea how lucky they are to be witnessing them. And yes, those inside-out trademark Smriti Mandhana cover drives still make life feel a little better, as they did at Edgbaston on Sunday during India's T20 World Cup 2026 opener. But no matter how many global brands Smriti goes on to represent, I have a feeling one title will always remain closest to her heart: the unofficial brand ambassador of Sangli's Samba Bale, which feels entirely fitting for somebody whose journey has taken her around the world without ever quite losing sight of where she came from. And that, to me, is the most impressive part of the ever-evolving Smriti Mandhana story.